Namaste. Blessings. I know I keep on going on about it, but this extraordinary journey that I'm experiencing now, more potential, more vividly every day as we go. I want to share with you some experiences that I've experienced recently. For example, the clock in the kitchen, it keeps ticking, but it stopped. It stops on the clock. The analog, it stops ticking, but it's the noise you can still hear. It's got batteries and it's ticking away. So one little thing that what I experienced, and it still happens every day. Obviously there's some kind of fault for it, but alternatively, or thinking out the box and symbolically, it was also telling me not just that time don't exist, but more knowledge about time and how we can work around time and how we can use time to manipulate, which we go under every day. Like people 9 to 5 jobs, got children as well, got busy lives, got busy this, busy that, and they work around time. And if we didn't acknowledge that we've got this thing called time that's supposed to exist, and it does down here in this realm of vibration, and then but like I say up there, time don't exist. So really, in the reality, time don't exist, but in the illusion that we experience, or our reality that we experience and we create, it all depends on it. But like I said, time don't come into my life like that. If you know where I'm coming from, I'm basically saying time is a big illusion, and time is a big healer as well, like people say. But once you start getting into a deep thought about stuff, like myself, you start losing concentration what you're talking about. So you just keep talking to yourself in your own head and stuff like that. So I do ramble on a lot, but I know I make good points at certain times. So you just got to keep watching or listening to my videos to get the point. So if the time don't exist in reality, which is supposed to be reality in a natural atmosphere, if we was living, in our life, if we was living in that kind of reality, time wouldn't exist, and we'll get things done on planet Earth. People won't be rushing around stressing. Stress causes a lot of trouble, but stress basically comes in because people are bounded by the existence of time that is in our realm. But when we meditate, or when we pass on, that time don't exist. It's because it's just like, as you look up, you see the sky, there's nothing there. We know there's nothing there physically, but mentally, and what you'll see with your third eye, when you look up to the sky, you'll see loads of symbols, loads of different geometric patterns, some subliminal messages, or symbols through the clouds. People can move the clouds. When people get that far with manipulating energy, they're able to change the weather, create the weather and stuff like that. So that's what we go under a lot of fun every day as well, is the weather manipulation, as well as these natural disasters are not actually natural in some kind. Sometimes it's not. So it all depends really in what you do in life, and I suppose it's all about thinking deep. Because once you find it don't matter what you do in life, even if you've got kids, a job, 9 to 5, you're busy, busy all the time, and you still got this thing called time that bounds people, and so what you've got to do is deeply think about it. And if time don't exist out there, but it does in here, it's only what you create in your reality. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're creating time, if you're creating that busy schedule, and you're building up that fear of coming close to the time, that's what it is, it's about fear of the unknown, if you want to call it like that. The time, it's fear of time, it's fear of the unknown, or basically you could call it the occult. If the occult basically means it's like hidden information, hidden knowledge, and little things like that. If people start working out from there on how we can change our lives to better ourselves, what's the right intentions, and not just the right intentions, but like, I don't know, it's hard to go into one, but you know where I'm coming from, don't I? So the clock stops. So that got me on the thing, battling for a few months. Bella's come to sit on my lap for a bit. And you, baby. What could I say? I know one thing. I know obviously I'm in tune with some other frequencies, not in this realm, but not just in tune with them, but I'm in tune with the defined self in us all. We've all got that balance, that defined energy, and where that's, I don't know where it sprung up from. 3 years ago it just sprung up out of nowhere, but it was a root waiting and couldn't wait to grow, and it got so, like I said in my biography, I got so stressed out, depressed, felt so lost at one point, and that was me basically growing, if you want to call it, think it like that. I was growing with frustration of what really is going on in the world, where my life is going, and where it's leading, and I wasn't happy in life at that time. Not like 3 years ago, but like 4 or 5 years ago, I wasn't really happy. At 3 years from now, that's when it started all being clarity, like what's going on, and I was actually happy at that time when I started awakening. But before then I wasn't, but with my own subconscious thoughts and my own actions from my past in my own life, but what I've done to people and the wrongs and what I've done, and I've changed all that, and I feel that, and that's how I know I can, if I can, and there's other people out there a lot, worse, and then some people, like as me, I'm not as bad, and I've not been a wrong in all my life, but I could have gone a better way through life if I had the right idol or the right person to look up to. And all the people, another good point is, all the good people to look up to, or the good idol is not people, it's the idol, is the role you're taking on, or you want to take on anyway. So you look at that person, what the role you want to take on. And unfortunately I was born in that era where we was getting into hip hop, drum and bass, and it was that kind of era where just a bit old school with my dad's and my older brother being a little bit older, but I was listening to his music, and I started getting into it when he started coming out for music, and he started awakening a couple of years before me, and it's been slow progress but over the years, but it feels so I'm so chuffed, feel like it's this when I think about it and stuff. And so yeah, back to idols and role models. That's not, it's always good to have a good point and hear other people's opinions. Even though I might be very debatable about things, it's only because we've all got knowledge of our own experience and what we come into our experience, as in experience is what I'm saying is in our life. My life is my experience is my life. That's how I see it. So if I'm experiencing some extraordinary something's going on and no one else can understand, so basically, like, say for example an EVP, or my energy or my being, or for example my head, my shoulders may feel like they're being touched or something like that. That's my life and I'm experiencing that at the time. And you know, if people don't experience that, they're most probably going to say, you know, I don't believe in that, or I don't feel that because I'm not experiencing it. So everyone's got to go out there, make these points, look into it, put work into it, as in energy work, and go deep as much as you can, and as much as I have really, and as much as you're building up as a person, not your profile, but you're building up your also your spiritual growth, but you're building up something about you, and people are gonna look and see that one day. And also, like David Icke in the old 1990s, he not messed up, but he said a phrase, and he said it in a way people misunderstood him, because obviously he was experiencing some extraordinary information downloaded every day, and you know, he said a phrase in a different perceptive or perception of what other people could perceive it as. But that's the point. It's like you've got to go out and experience these things, or put the energy work in, not physical work but mental work. You've got to put your mind thinking into it. You've got to analyse everything and anything in the world. And that don't mean like don't trust no one, or don't trust the world, because you just can't go around like that. I used to go around like that, but you got to give your trust into people to a circumstance. Obviously, you don't, it's not about becoming vulnerable and letting yourself go in that way, but it's like showing that you're open to peace and you're open to oneness, basically. And so you want to give out that projection of your being, basically. You want to be seen as a trustworthy person. But anyway, you know what I'm getting at. What else was I going to say? Because I've got a few things on my mind, but I've just been rambling on, as you can see. All I do know is in the last 2 days it's been bloody hot in Folkestone, really hot, and that ain't just because I've got long hair. It's really hot. It's been about 12 Celsius or something, 12 Celsius or even higher. I don't recommend smoking, but I recommend putting it in your cakes. It will start expanding your perception, trust me. But that's only a choice. Consent. The word consent. I'm not aware. I am not aware that you are aware that consent means, or defined. The definition of consent is agreement. Agreement, permission, or basically like agree with, basically, and giving them your permission to put you wherever, to give consent. So if you know what consent is, and you know what the agreement is, once you talked on about the agreements in civilization, agreements, you're agreeing in contracts, and once you agreeing in contract, you've got and I lost obviously my point at the time, but I'll get back to it in a minute. Oh yeah, consent and contracts. I don't really read the Bible, to be honest, so I shouldn't go around talking about the Bible and phrases, but I do, because there's a lot of truth in the Bible, as in Bibles that are published, but the truth is suppressed, and once the truth is out there, which it is in some minor aspects of stories and symbolic language, it is true. You got to analyze everything and anything, and especially when it comes to the Bible. That is why I choose not to even go down that road, because it will take forever, because it's it confuses your perception of what you. That's what it is. It's like religion and the Bible. It does the same thing. It separates people and separates thoughts, separates perception, it separates everyone thinking on the same level and being on that oneness level. You know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from. And once you come into a contract, also you've got to abide by that contract legally. But like I've been told, God said in the Bible that you shouldn't sign an oath of allegiance to anyone else but God Almighty. So if that is true, and the only person or the only thing you should swear the Bible, go into contract with or swear an oath on or with to God Almighty, when you go in contract in the civilization, you're not actually going in contract or going to sign in an oath and abiding by the oath under the government, the governed God, basically God Almighty, because you just have to look into the civilization and look into the contracts and the birth certificates and how they're all fraudulent and how they're fraudulent, but you've got to understand the law to understand why they're fraud. So once you work, you start going into. When I started awakening to this spiritual stuff, like all the possibilities out there and what we can obtain and stuff like that, I started getting into everything. Because I'm a Sagittarius, obviously started awakening. I started realising what Sagittarius is all about, and I was like, you know what, I've always read the horoscopes as a kid, but never looked to them and took them in and thought, yeah, that I could take that, or that Sagittarius, it describes me, because I wasn't like that. I was suppressed a lot to the real true being of what my being possibly and could achieve with any kind of potential. So I've understood that because I'm a Sagittarius, as well as my birthday being on 29th of November and being 1988, I've gathered a lot of other information about the era of the star seeds and how I come into the program or the agenda, and so I've worked out a lot in a couple of years, trust me. But and I'll give it a couple of more years, and once I'm really confident, because I've got some big things to expose, not just secrets and stuff that the public should know, or the people, or everyone should know. It should be just free information, stuff I've got to share, but not just that, it's information that you would never hear from anywhere else, and it's only, you can choose to believe it. I'm not pushing it onto you. I'm just saying what I feel and what I know. And in a couple of years' time, I'm gonna be doing some big stuff. What's gonna put me out there big time, and it's gonna be the judgment from there on, whether I get to stay doing what I'm doing, or if the people, not the people, but the top elite people, if they've had enough of it, because if they've had enough, and or you're just a pest of society in their eyes, they're just gonna like they said, someone said to me before, they'll put you in that they'll let you they'll you'll be you'll experience a life-threatening accident or something like that. A life-threatening accident. That's what I'll experience if it comes to that. That's what I've been told, and I've been warned, basically. So that's why I've not been on Facebook or putting too much out there in my videos. A bit, but not too much, and just to make people think. And that's what they don't mind, because they want, like, come on about the Illuminati, the real Illuminati. They want, because they are enlightened, and they want the wise people, they want the wise humanity to be in tune to the right frequencies, and not everyone on earth is ready to take that role or that purpose, like not that purpose but that role. And everyone's got their purpose, but there's certain individuals out there with a certain path, going for certain roles. Like another idol that I was watching an interview with, but she was taken out, you could say, or basically other people could say she just passed away. So I'm just going to say she just passed away, not accidentally, but we all know anyway. Lady Diana Spencer, and so I was watching an interview with her, and because I didn't really know much about her when I was young, and she was around, but I've had a strong connection with her, and always have done, but I've never known why. And I still don't really know why, to be honest. I suppose we all have in some way, but I can't believe I'm putting this out, because I've not really told anyone really. Because once you get a connection to a certain person, if you're getting too much of deep knowledge of it, which I do, they don't like people. Some people don't like it, and some people have not liked it, and they have told me. And I'm not talking about my friends on Facebook or people who don't agree with my work. I'm on about old gentlemen in black suits and talking to me like I'm in the pub talking to some other blokes or something, and they told me in a nice polite way of saying, just stop putting too much information out there. So yeah, I haven't, not for a while anyway, and so I'm saving it all, basically, because I'm gonna be I'm not changing, but something's gonna change in my life in the next year, materially. Like, that's myself. Like, I'm gonna be working on getting my teeth done and trying to sort out my financial not problems, but like issues at the moment, because banks and people and debts and stuff, like, that material stuff, you got to get sorted. So I've got to get all that sorted, and then start maybe thinking about going on, not a holiday, but a retreat, and actually share my knowledge by voice and by person, because I think it's really important we do. But if we could actually do it in person, it'd be better. But it's not possible all the time to do it in person, but it's always possible to do it spiritually, mentally, through telepathy. And there ain't no reason why I'm not looking at this cam. It's just the way I'm sitting and behaving or acting. Not acting, because I'm not acting. I'm just the way I am. Because I don't sit up straight, I suppose. So yeah, Lady Diana Spencer, I've always had a good connection with her. Like seeing the pictures, seeing clips of her with Charles, seeing interviews with her, like this one particular, talking about, you know, the ins and outs of their marriage as it come to the ends before Charles, you know, got divorced. I've been told by a friend of a, you know, acquaintance and that you know, they've been told that Diana's went, you know, came forward to them and said basically, you know, they know me and she wants to pass a message on saying basically, oh, she wants to work with me, like spiritually. So I know some good couple things are going to happen in the next couple of years, but it's just a long process, isn't it? I suppose. Like I said, and I experience it a lot. I limitate myself to that thing we call time. It's a boundary. It's like that thing which I try and uphold myself. Breaking limitation will be the experience of freedom. Basically, that's just saying, like, you know, break that limitation of time, that limitation of 5 sense reality, or, you know, the 5 sense atmosphere. You know, all the chakras, 5 sense. About all the chakras. You know, just the 5 senses: smell, you know, touch, feel, all the rest, which I forgot. You don't need to always remember, as long as you know it. So it doesn't matter if you forget, and then you have to remember. So it's all good. But, so it's quite weird actually. I've just noticed that I'm not really looking at the camera a bit. It's only because I'm a bit stoned and a bit all over the place, but I'm feeling good. It's Sunday and it's like 9 minutes to 5, and about an hour and a half I'll be going to church service. I'm just trying to mellow myself down, I suppose. What have I been doing this week? And a good point. I've got a good few points about this week, about my EVPs. Other than the actual EVP clips that my friends have now seen and then heard through my YouTube video, and then also the audio and SoundCloud. I picked up quite a few interesting little phrases, and I don't know how to start this. Here we go, right. The EVPs, as we all know, and well, as I'm very knowledgeable in frequency ranges and how we can being conducted in this agenda, how we're operated through energy sources, and you know, so I'm very aware. So that's why you know, it buggers you to work out this stuff here, but it buggers people like me, because when I can't, you know, I can't see a thing around it, it really does do my head in, because it takes a lot to do my head in. Like, it takes a lot to confuse me, or not confuse me, but set me aside to what I know, if you know what I mean. So what's she doing? You like bells? Just roaming the old flat again. Here she goes. Listen. You like bells? What are you doing? Silly girl. You're stuck now, ain't ya? You're stuck. She just can't get out. Silly girl. Once you develop the spiritualism in you, or the spirituality in you, and you have channeled, you know, channeled through healing, hands-on healing, which I've done, or mediumship that I feel and I sense that I've done a few times. You can, well, not you can, but it just comes naturally. I've picked up of basically are masculine attunement, or no, feminine attunement, but into the masculine self. If you know what I'm saying here. I'm just watching the cats here. So yeah, so since I've been spiritual, I've been more calmer in myself, more peaceful in myself. Yeah, I do have bad days. I do kick off. I do have, experience what a human being experiences, but and lose the plot. Well, not lose the plot, but be not just happy, if not everyone experience. Basically, I experience. I get up on the wrong side of the bed, and I don't have a good day sometimes. I suppose everyone experiences that quite a lot, and I think that it's a lot to do with our sleep. Individually and uniquely, we all experience our sleeps in our own way, I believe, and that's also to do with what I've just lost cognition. I've just come from, but back to the EVPs and frequencies and the energy levels. Right. So I've picked up recently a couple of EVPs, but these are rare. Well, this particular one, what says Namaste back to me, it's very rare. I've never caught on audio clip before, and alright, you can call it a coincidence if you want to truly believe it in your true higher self. It is, but it isn't, because if you work it out and listen to it carefully, look into the audio clip, the program on Elder City, and you look at the sound and you take all the other sounds there. Once I come at the procedure of meditation, trance, deep meditation, the procedure when you come out and you're blowing out, when I do, I go or something like that, and that's just basically like my guide's energy coming out I wouldn't say voice box, because I don't talk like him, but I talk on their behalf, if you know what I mean. So it's like I'm an ambassador for their society, their race. That's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah, Alfie Define is a divine ambassador of the grey and the extraterrestrial race. That's what I'd say, because I work with the greys, the small greys, and I do work with extraterrestrial beings, and they are from the 5-dimensional beings to the other characters you can pick up and perceive. Anyway, before I do get too bugged, distracted, this is why I know my clairvoyance is developing and gonna it's processing and it's working. But I'm sometimes not uncomfortable, but it's just like clairvoyance, or I'm seeing that kind of particular realm, because I see that, or I'm experiencing it at the time, like visually. Sometimes I get distracted with my eyes and stuff like that. That's how I know my clairvoyance is picking up. And sometimes it's not. I'm uncomfortable. It's more like I'm not ready for it. If you know what I mean. I'm always ready for the inspiration through words and philosophy, and like channel the information and stuff like that. I've got no problem doing that. I do that all night and day and week. I do that like David Icke would do. But it's just one of them things with clairvoyance. I'm not really a visualised person, and that might be to do with the Asperger's. I've got no idea. Rumour has it that people say Asperger's people don't, visualise contact. I sometimes do. Sometimes and most time when I first meet a person, the first time ever in my life, I don't tend to look at their eyes straight away. It's just one of them natural things to me, I suppose. It's more like I sense the energy before anything else. So I think that's why Aspies or Asperger's people don't visualise stuff, because they take I don't know, it's like they take things too literally, which don't make sense now, but you know what I'm getting at. And I don't know, because the doctors never filled me in about my illness. They've just told me what I've had on reports and stuff. So I don't know much about it. It's only what I gather and the inspiration that I get about it, and the information I get on the internet, and what I work at, analyse myself, and not diagnose myself, but see if these symptoms I get. I know I've got quite most of the symptoms actually, so I know I'm labelled that for a reason, I suppose. I could meet halfway with the doctors or the government or the occult and the top scientists, and say, yeah, I'll be labelled under that category, but it's a 24/7 and 9 to 5 job to be the way I am, and that's why, in a way, some aspects, time does exist for everyone and everything in a certain way, to a circumstance, but it's not time as we humans perceive it as. They perceive it as more like a length of or a certain string of energy. That's how they see time. We see time as a clock with tick, 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 and every minute or every 60 seconds we know as humans perceive 60 seconds as means 1 minute passed, and so on. My clock, I don't know if you can't hear it now, what can I hear, but it does actually tick away, but it's not actually moving. And when it actually did play up on that night, I did move the angle myself, the hand myself, to see if it would work again. And I am very aware that what time it was at the time, and it was about 11:15 in the morning, I think it was, when the actual clock stopped. So that could be a very symbolic number to do to time, to do with that kind of philosophy about time. I don't have a real awareness about numbers, because I try and delve in everything and trying to understand everything, and I do pretty much understand quite a lot, but not too much technical. It's more like, not scientifically I can understand it, but from a metaphysical, I can't even say the word. A metaphysical, what's fickle? A metaphysical. That's it. I think I had a list at one point. A metaphysical. I can't even say the word. I'm just going to give up. I wish they started channeling me their voices instead, because it would be so easier to get the words out. And once my teeth and my mouth and I'm sorted out later, I'll be able to talk better and pronounce more words than what I actually am able to do at the moment. It's only because my teeth frame is a bit messed up at the moment, but it won't be that for that long. And once I'm comfortable, yeah, it's not that I'm not confident. I'm very confident in what I know, in my knowledge, just go and speak, but I'm not comfortable on doing that at the moment. That is why I put on text on the internet, or text on my website, because I'm just updating people bit by bit about things and what I'm up to, and if people are interested, and then they're going to follow my work. If they're not, then it's up to them at the end of the day, because we've all got this purpose in life, and this is my purpose. It's just to share knowledge and to share an understanding. I think more like an understanding on two sides of the. That's the purpose. Is to share that message of the understanding of the the existence of the distance between realms, and how we exist beyond realms, but through telepathy and through enhancing mental state, our mind state, and not alternate on drugs, medication, and the low vibrational processed food, or wrong stuff. So this you know, and other information, but it's more like my message is for people to understand. Is, you know, don't know how to really put it. Really, I'll guess it is something like a clap, because that's what I keep on going on about, and it's so I'm so passionate about getting it out, even if it's drip by drip. You know, drip by drip will still flood at the end of it once it, you know, drips so much, and or you know, drip drip drip. But more like, you know, like I had clairvoyance reading a while back now, and they said in the beginning of my journey the dominoes will start falling very soon, and I was like, dominoes will start falling soon. And obviously at the time I'm not aware of what dominoes even symbolise, what they are. I know what they are, I used to play with them as a kid, but I didn't know much about them, like symbolically, and what they could mean and stuff like that. So obviously from a while I've understood, and out of nowhere I've understood of my own back the dominoes are falling. That means basically the dots are connecting, the dots are going to come to me very soon, and basically they start connecting, and my path just started connecting, and the dots started making a picture, little picture, bigger picture, bigger picture, bigger picture, and I'm ready to come out with some home truths about the royal family and how they've been going on, and how humanity should stop giving their power and their, you know, their sovereignty to the royal family. And I'm going to put, you know, some channeled information or channeled knowledge, as well as my own research and investigations into the subjects that I'll be covering. But I'm putting out there now, I will be talking about the royal family, because it is discussing how their bloodline still exists, but their potential to raise vibration as extraterrestrial beings in a human life force has gone to, from being the way it's defined angelic people are supposed to be, or angelic humanoids are supposed to be, you know, raise the vibration. Instead of doing all that, since a certain time in you know, the existence of humanity, at one point there was actually, you know, a good race. There was actually here to make human, you know, human race, you know, to bring that a master race, that new race to Earth. And obviously they haven't, you know, the royal family haven't, and not in the last couple of years, or good few years actually. You know, I'm going to say a few years, I mean decades upon decades now. But you know how I'm not talking about stuff you're going to hear from other people. I'm talking about stuff you won't hear from other people, and I'll start connecting probably other people's dots they haven't worked out, or fill holes in for other people to you know, to talk about. Because I believe that it's time for people, especially in Great Britain, to understand you know, how the world is going, and what the royal family is not doing for the world, what they're possibly, you know, very possible can do for the world, but they just won't, because it's because they worship the wrong frequency. They worship the wrong entity as well, and they worship the selfishness and the Satan, not Satan, because that's just a name. We all know that's a name, but also names. You know, my name's Alfie, but behind that Alfie there's a person. Behind that person there's an entity. Behind that person, behind that entity there is a being, and that being, whether it be good, bad, I don't know. I know myself as a good one, but you know, the Queen. We know the Queen as Elizabeth. You know, we don't know what entity she is in. You know, we don't know if she's human. We don't know if she's extraterrestrial, half humanoid. We don't really know nothing, because we don't get to meet these people and talk and expose them, and you know, actually like get some kind of police authority to go out there and actually arrest them. Because you know, like the police, you know, that someone needs to be in the royal family with dignity, with principle, with, you know, going to take on their true role as obviously a role model, but, you know, other than a representative to the people, and, you know, like, be here for the people, which they don't let out, and I will let out very soon on other videos, and in my book I'm going to start writing. You know, they've got this full potential of a spiritual person, but they choose to worship the wrong entity, or the wrong kind of being, the wrong kind of being. They worship the being that we know as humans know as wrong'uns, or you know, paedophilia, which they're into, Satanism, which they're into, and that Satanism is too deep to go into. But basically, you know, once you understand Luciferian, and then you know within yourself that Satanism is nothing compared to all the other cults out there, to other you know, to other things which get conducted in society. But, you know, that's just one iceberg. That's nothing. And yes, I'm talking about some unique stuff, and it's all channeled information and gathered up investigation information from over the last couple of years, I suppose, and what I know from being who I am, and being experiencing the stuff I've experienced. I truly believe that when I was 7, and, you know, I was in that coma, I do actually believe that, you know, I was brought back from that coma for, you know, a higher purpose, not just any purpose, but a higher purpose. And that is why I believe that I will be here for a long time, whether it be doing what I do, or just not being alive, as in, you know, living this human body suit life, and enjoying it. I don't know, but I know I will be existing, and I know I will be here with a higher, greater purpose than just being Alfie. You know, like, we can all be Tom, Dick and Harry, but, you know, we thought you know, we're all chosen in one aspect or one perception of or another, but, you know, I do truly believe that I've been chosen for a certain, you could either call it a task, or a certain destiny I'm reaching a certain destiny, or a certain task I'm reaching to. You know, Sagittarius are gaining information, like, you know, like kids like sweets. We soak up information and knowledge like water, basically. We soak it up, and we're like psychic sponges, and you know, that's why a lot of Asperger's people as well, they go like that, because they can't, they sense, you know, they're sensational, and they sense all the frequencies around them, and when they hear these loud noises, they do cover up their thing. That's one thing I do not have or experience yet, and but I do know other people who have, and it's all to do with energies, frequencies again, that communication through us and the divine. So yeah, I've got quite a lot to get off my chest in the next years to come, mate. Trust me, mate. It'll be extraordinary. Namaste. I'll leave it there because I've gone on quite a long time now. I've just noticed at the time. Within love and light. Until next time, amen and namaste.